Hi, I'm Angela Mitchell. 5 years ago, life felt like a dream. My husband Jimmy and I had just celebrated our 7th wedding anniversary, and our little girl, Lisa, was the light of our lives. We lived in a cozy house in Boston, and Jimmy's tech consulting business was flourishing. Babe, come here for a second. Jimmy called me into his home office one evening. I had just put Lisa to bed and walked in to find him grinning. I set up Lisa's trust fund, he announced. With the way the business is growing, our princess will never have to worry about college or anything else. You think of everything, I said, wrapping my arms around him. Jimmy was always planning ahead, always looking out for us. Back then, his mother, Christine, was a frequent visitor. She adored Lisa. "Oh, my darling grandbaby," she cooed, showering Lisa with gifts. To me, she'd say, "Angela, you're the daughter I never had. I'm so blessed Jimmy found you." But everything changed when Lisa started getting tired all the time. She seemed pale and lethargic. Weeks of tests led to a devastating diagnosis. "Mrs. Mitchell," Dr. Torres said gently, "Lisa has a rare congenital heart condition. She'll need ongoing treatment, but with proper care, she can live a normal life." Jimmy threw himself into research. "Money's no object," he'd say, determined to find the best specialists. "Our baby girl is getting the best care possible." Then, one rainy October night, my world shattered. There was a knock at the door. 2 police officers stood in the downpour. "Ma'am, there's been an accident," one of them said. "Your husband." I couldn't process their words. Jimmy was gone. Christine moved in temporarily to help. At first, it seemed like a blessing. "Angela, darling, let me handle the funeral arrangements," she offered. "You focus on Lisa." But something felt off. She started asking strange questions. "Did Jimmy leave anything specific for Lisa?" she asked one day. "The business must be worth quite a bit now. Have you thought about selling?" I caught her in Jimmy's office late at night, rummaging through his things. "Just organizing," she'd say with a tight smile. But I noticed papers out of place. Then Lisa's condition worsened. One morning, she clutched her chest, her lips turning blue. "Mom, my chest hurts," she whimpered. The emergency room was chaos. Dr. Torres admitted her to the pediatric ICU, warning us her heart was struggling. Christine was always hovering, but her focus wasn't on Lisa. "What about Jimmy's policies?" she asked. "And the trust fund, are you the sole trustee?" That's quite a responsibility for a young widow. Her sharp tone unsettled me. Then I overheard her on the phone. "Yes, I'm calling about accessing the trust fund for my granddaughter," she said. Her voice turned icy. "What do you mean I'm not authorized?" That's when it hit me. Christine wasn't here to help. She was after something else entirely. "Christine, maybe you should take a break," I suggested one day, trying to sound calm. "Don't tell me what to do," she snapped, but then quickly softened. "I'm just worried about Lisa's future." Her eyes, though, told another story. Later, she cornered me in the hospital cafeteria. Her manicured nails tapped impatiently against the table. "Where exactly did Jimmy put the trust fund paperwork?" she demanded. "That's being handled by the lawyers," I replied, keeping my voice steady. "Why are you so concerned about it?" "I'm family. I have a right to know," she hissed before softening her tone again. "I just want to make sure everything's properly managed." That night, I searched through Jimmy's emails and discovered something chilling. Messages from loan sharks. Christine owed hundreds of thousands of dollars in gambling debts. My hands trembled as I read. And then strange things started happening. Lisa's medication pump would suddenly be set to incorrect doses. Her oxygen levels would drop for no apparent reason. One morning, Dr. Torres pulled me aside, her expression grave. "Mrs. Mitchell, our night staff reported someone accessing Lisa's room at 3 a.m. The visitor log wasn't signed." Nurse Linda added, "The security cameras showed your mother-in-law here after visiting hours. She claimed she had permission." A chill ran down my spine. That night, I hid a small camera inside Lisa's favorite stuffed bear, hoping to catch whatever Christine was up to. The very next day, I caught her rummaging through my purse, looking for something. I asked coldly. "Oh, I thought my lipstick might have fallen in," she stammered, her smile faltering. Later, I reviewed the footage. My stomach churned as I watched Christine sneaking into Lisa's room late at night. She examined the machines, whispered into her phone about trust fund access, and muttered, "After the unfortunate passing." Then came the night that still haunts me. I had stepped out to shower and change when the camera feed on my phone began to beep frantically. Christine was in Lisa's room, her hand hovering over the life support machine. "Such a shame," she murmured. "But accidents happen in hospitals all the time. Mommy will need Grandma's help managing all that money." My heart stopped as her hand moved toward the power cord. "Code blue, room 204. Nurse Linda's voice echoed through the halls. She had spotted the flickering machines during her rounds. I ran back, my heart pounding, to find Linda reconnecting the equipment and stabilizing Lisa. "Your daughter's okay," Linda assured me, her face steely. She turned to Christine. "Security is on their way." "I was just checking on her," Christine protested, her voice trembling. "These machines are so complicated." "Save it," Linda snapped. "I saw what you were doing." As security escorted Christine away, she screamed, "I'm her grandmother. I have rights. Angela's turning you all against me." I sank into the chair by Lisa's bed, trembling with rage. My mother-in-law had tried to kill her own granddaughter for money, but she didn't know who she was dealing with. Nobody threatens my daughter and gets away with it. The next day, Marcus, the hospital's security officer, showed me weeks of footage. Christine had been tampering with Lisa's equipment, adjusting IV drips, interfering with oxygen levels, and even attempting to access medical records. "There's more," Marcus said grimly, pulling up parking lot surveillance. "She's been meeting with a man from your husband's old company." That discovery sent me down a rabbit hole. Logging into Jimmy's email account, I found suspicious transfers, hundreds of thousands siphoned into offshore accounts. Christine's signature was all over the paperwork. But the most horrifying revelation came from Jimmy's old phone records. On the night of his accident, he had called Christine in a rage. "What have you done with the company money?" his last voicemail demanded. Traffic camera footage showed a car resembling Christine's tailing Jimmy's moments before the crash. "Police ruled it an accident," Marcus said carefully. "But now, with this evidence, it's being reopened." The hospital banned Christine from the premises, and the director assured me, "We're fully cooperating with authorities." Christine showed up at my house one evening, tears streaming down her face. "Angela, please. There's been a terrible misunderstanding. I only wanted what's best for Lisa." "Like you wanted what was best for Jimmy?" I replied coldly. Her face went pale. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Get out," I said quietly, my voice steady. "The next time I see you, it'll be when everything you've done comes to light." Her mask finally slipped. "You ungrateful," she snarled. "After everything I've done for this family, Jimmy would have been nothing without my help managing that company." "Managing it right into your gambling accounts," I said, a faint smile tugging at my lips. She froze. "Oh yes, Christine. I know all about those too." She fled, but it didn't matter. All the pieces were in place. Christine thought she could get away with murder for money. She was about to learn how wrong she was. The next day, I made some calls. It was time for justice. "You won't believe what we found in the company records," Jimmy's former CFO told me. "Christine's been cooking the books for years. Several employees have come forward with evidence." The dominoes started to fall. The IRS launched a full investigation into Christine's personal finances and the company. They uncovered millions in unreported gambling winnings, elaborate tax evasion schemes, and fraudulent transfers. Her world crumbled. The company's shareholders filed lawsuits. The hospital pressed charges. The IRS froze her assets, her fancy house, cars, jewelry, everything was seized. 25 years, the judge declared at her sentencing, and full restitution of all stolen funds. Meanwhile, Lisa's health took a remarkable turn for the better. "Her heart is showing significant improvement," Dr. Torres said, beaming. "The new treatment is working wonderfully." I took over Jimmy's company, determined to honor his legacy. Within 2 years, we doubled our revenue and expanded internationally. Then came the prison visit request. "Angela, please." Christine's voice cracked over the phone. "I'm so sorry. I was desperate. The gambling debts. I never meet." "Save it," I cut her off. "You tried to kill my daughter. Your own granddaughter. There's no coming back from that." "I'm still family," she pleaded weakly. "No," I said firmly. "You stopped being family the moment you unplugged my daughter's life support. Enjoy prison." 5 years later, Lisa is a healthy, vibrant 11-year-old. The company is thriving, and we've started a foundation to help families with children facing heart conditions. As for Christine, she spends her days in a maximum security prison. broke, alone, and abandoned by her so-called friends. Her reputation is destroyed. All her schemes amounted to nothing. Sometimes Lisa asks about her grandmother. I tell her the truth. Some people are poisonous, and keeping them out of your life isn't just right, it's necessary. That's the thing about toxic people, they eventually destroy themselves. All you have to do is gather the evidence, stay strong, and let justice take its course. My daughter is alive. We're thriving. And Christine? She's exactly where she deserves to be, forgotten, paying for her crimes until her dying day. What would you do if someone in your family had been secretly plotting against you and your child for years? Would you consider forgiveness, or do you believe some betrayals are truly unforgivable? Share your thoughts below.